Free beer and hot wings in the morning. Grand Rapids rocks all day. 97.9 GRD rocks.
Partly cloudy today on the way to 84. It's 70 and partly cloudy downtown. It's warmed up almost 20 degrees since about 5 a.m.
Oh, it looks beautiful out.
Memorial Day weekend, obviously, this weekend. And Fox 17 this is a really cool story about a guy who has that skill to, it's one thing to restore cars. Mm-hmm. That's pretty awesome. I'm envious of that, but this guy goes a little extra further. Check it out.
New at 11, one local man marking Memorial Day by sharing a big piece of history with some of our local veterans.
Yep, and he enjoys restoring old vehicles, and in this case, we're talking about a 42-ton Sherman tank used in World War II. And while he enjoys putting it on display, he says what he enjoys even more is having servicemen and women stop by and share their stories.
Okay, that's incredible.
That's crazy.
That is
I
awesome.
give them guys a lot of credit that somebody fighting and shooting at you and everything else, and the sweat and the sound of the motor and the dust.
Okay.
If I saw that driving down the road or in a yard, I would
flip out.
And if I was a neighbor, if every time I heard the engine start, I'd be like, I gotta go outside.
And he's got his head sticking out the hatch.
Yeah.
Kovics appreciates our veterans and has chosen to honor the fallen in a hands-on way, putting himself in their shoes and in the driver's seat.
Okay, it's a Super Sherman. I actually bought it from Israel.
Shipped over the Mediterranean to the
How
United
do you
States
do that? How do you even
in
find it?
1989, after he decided to sell off some of his hot rods, part of a longtime hobby of his.
I was worried about somebody maybe breaking in and stealing them or vandalizing them.
Okay.
So I told my
now, I know this isn't, he didn't buy it as a theft deterrent.
No.
But can you imagine if you were about to go into his sweet, like 71 Chevelle, and you heard an engine start up and the lights came on in this tool shed, and there's a Sherman tank pointed at you?
He's got war music playing.
Go ahead, make my day.
If I says, hey, why don't we just I'm going to sell these. So I started selling them off, and I had a big pocket full of money.
And he used that big pocket of
I
money
love
to
this
purchase
guy.
something he always wanted as a child, a 42-ton Army tank.
The ATF, they show up every once in a while to make sure I haven't done something goofy.
And
Good
Roger
call.
certainly has found
Does that
uses
gun
for
work?
it.
Yeah, we knocked out
No,
all
they.
kinds of trees.
That's why they
we
go.
knocked
They make
down.
sure that
We pulled
none
out
of the
stumps
armaments
with it.
work.
The reason
Even
I asked,
tied.
hold on, because they were showing what looked like
A row of bullets. I don't know what you call them.
Yeah.
yeah.
Son how to drive a stick with it.
Oh, my God.
I wasn't going to let them drive any of my hot rod cars or anything. So I said, hey, the old tank's got a stick in it. You climb in there, I'll show you how to drive a stick.
Hell yeah.
The best part for Roger is holidays like Memorial Day, where he brings it out to share with other veterans and to help kids and families remember what this day really means.
And that's really the best part of the whole thing, is just hearing these different little stories they have. And they're all different, and some are pretty comical, but some are with the war and everything and the casualties.
Those aren't the funny ones.
different, you know?
So whether it's to stop and take a picture or jump inside to experience it yourself,
Yeah, getting to be an older guy like me, this isn't the easiest thing to get in and out of anymore.
Roger and his tank are here to help you remember why we celebrate Memorial Day, and thanks to those who have given us our freedom for the price of their own.
Really cool. I still can't get over he has an Army tank, but Roger
I wonder
also brings
if they ever did they say they ever bring it out for parades? Probably can't. I don't think you can just. I think
I
it
don't know
might be hard on the roads.
Well, he says he obviously
Yeah,
was
it
driving it
was on
around.
a sidewalk.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got rubber treads on it, so.
out on the 4th of July, and he actually believes the last time this was used was in a war, probably 3 decades ago with Egypt and Israel. They had like a 6-day battle. So
Wow. So does he just leave it parked in his driveway when he's not
yeah,
using it?
I mean, literally, he still has a collection
One
of
heck of
hot
a
rods.
sight.
It's just like a fun hobby thing for him to do. And as
She was
you just heard,
circling a
he
little bit when
loves
she was talking
sharing
about the
it
war
with
history. I thought she was going to say, I think it was like the Friendster War.
I thought she was
I don't
going
know.
to, too. Like 3 decades ago, I think.
Yeah.
It was the Star Wars.
That's like
especially veterans. It's huge
Spurs a lot
respect.
of stories from
Right,
those veterans.
exactly.
Cool story.
Pretty cool.
cool and a cool guy.
Cool guy.
Cool.
I'd like to see
Pretty
that.
cool.
I've always wanted to get in one of those because that is what my grandfather did. He was a tank commander in North Africa.
That's so wild, man.
So I've always just to see what that was like, because he never talked about it. He talked about it one time, and it came up out of the blue, where we were all I don't even remember what holiday it was, but we were all just kind of winding down. We're all just sort of hanging out in our family room, and Gramps just starts talking.
Flashbacks.
And he was always very quiet, very mild-mannered, very nice guy, but, just never talked about the war or anything. Mm-hmm. And he just, starts going, yeah. And so there we were, and, we were doing this and we were doing that. And so we all just, everybody just stopped. And we were all sitting, cross-legged in front of him. I mean, I was an adult.
Yeah.
And just sitting there watching and
just
listening to him. Because none of us, even my dad, he said, I've never heard those stories. But he had, all the different things.
In my experience,
and talking about the
war don't typically open up about it.
Not usually. I mean, some people, get over it, earlier than others. But obviously, because of what he did, he saw a lot of frontline action. Yeah. I mean, he was battling the forces of Rommel in North Africa. So, and then he had been in some other areas too, obviously, as the front lines pushed forward or moved back or whatever it was. And so he didn't meet my dad until my dad was a year and a half old, I think, something like that, because he was gone for so long. So,
yeah, so many. And not only do they not just from what they saw, but also there's always so much humility. Involved.
Yeah,
man, that guy with that tank. I can't believe a guy owns a tank. It's awesome.
That's crazy. I've always wanted to own a military vehicle, but not a tank.
It's like you said, right when this started, when they said he bought it from Israel, and you asked, you can do that?
Yeah.
It blows my mind that you can do that.
Yeah. I thought you could only do that if you were Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Because I think he has one. Because remember, he did that contest a few years ago. Come and drive over something in my tank.
I think you do. I think you do have to
Schwarzenegger.
get a lot of different clearances in order to do that, because it says
some jerk at the homeowners association. Sorry, we're a no tank community.
Because he said in the actual print article, he says that it came into Mississippi and he had to get permission from every single state that he was bringing it through. And he had to have the ATF there to make sure that it wouldn't operate as a weapon. And that's why he says that they come regularly to make sure he didn't do something goofy.
Good call.
As he says. Because obviously it could do some serious damage.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
That's incredible.
Pretty crazy.
That was a great story.
Cool, yeah.
Scott's Mac, keep away. 97.9 GRD Rocks.